In the world of classic car restoration, Porsche purists consider Rod Emery an outlaw. That's because Rod and his team at Emery Motorsports aren't known for restoring vintage Porsches back to their factory original glory. Instead, they customize each car they work on to the owner's specific taste, adding unconventional twists into every ride. It all started back in the 1980s, when Rod's grandfather Neil began reimagining old Porsches at his body shop. Unfortunately, Neil and his co-workers were shunned by Porsche enthusiasts, banned from their gatherings, and called outlaws. But times have changed, and Neil's vision has finally caught on. With Rod following in his grandfather's footsteps, wealthy collectors now pay him 6 and 7 figures to have their Porsches branded Emery Outlaws. The process can take months and starts with an old shell like this 356 that can cost $100,000. In the works right now, a 1965 Porsche 356 that Rod's crossing with an all-wheel drive 964 from the 90s.
This will be the first 356 Porsche that can literally throw rooster tails from all 4 wheels.
To breathe new life into this beat-up car, the Emery team utilizes some of the same 50-year-old machinery that Porsche originally used to build it, along with modern high-tech tools like 3D imaging to reconstruct missing parts. Rod's garage pumps out about 12 vehicles a year, like this recently overhauled 356 from the 1950s that got a more than $250K makeover.
Instead of having the original 60 horsepower engine, it now has a 200 horsepower engine.
Rod also installed a custom-built roof rack, fog lights, leather straps, and a steering wheel borrowed from the client's favorite vintage Porsche race car. Rod drives a 1964 Porsche Cabriolet, which took him months to reimagine.
What I did is looked around my shop and found an old Harley-Davidson Sportster gas tank, cut it off, and I made a left and right mirror out of it.
This level of outlaw redesign is called an Emery Special, a bumper-to-bumper overhaul that can cost up to $1 million. But that's nothing compared to the most important restoration project of Rod's career, this legendary 1951 Gamoond 356.
Such a privilege for me to be able to work on what I feel and consider one of the most significant Porsches in Porsche's history.
But this time, the car's current owner isn't asking for an outlaw. Instead, he wants every detail restored to the car's original specs.
Exactly back to 1951 post-race, how it crossed the finish line.
Smart move, because experts believe Rod's restoration could boost this car's value to between $8 and $12 million. And that would make it one of the most valuable Porsches on the planet. This $70 million Beverly Hills mansion includes an impressive infinity pool, a giant blue grenade art piece worth $250,000, and a $270,000 fully stocked candy bar. But if you're a car lover, none of it is as sweet as the garage.
What I wanted to do is create an auto gallery.
Millionaire Bruce Mikowski designed and built the home and spent a lot of time and a mountain of money on the ultimate parking spots.
We have a 2-car garage with a lift that drops down into a 4-car garage.
The lift takes cars down to the lounge where they're displayed behind glass like a museum.
Why buy a $2 million or $3 million car if you can't look at it from your living room?
Bruce designed the space with the billionaire car collector in mind and staged it with cars from his own collection, including the spinning multi-million-dollar Bugatti.
The cars today are so beautiful that it's great to look at it from every angle.
Ironically, Bruce's mansion and the ultimate garage lured in a newbie driver. Billionaire and Minecraft creator Marcus Persson bought the place just a few months after tweeting, "I have a driver's license now, beware." We can't tell you who owns this $250,000 yellow Ferrari, but we can show you how far its wealthy owner will go to make sure his wheels are safe and sound. You're inside a state-of-the-art 50,000 square foot safety deposit box built for cars. It's called Robo Vault. The pricey wheels locked up in here belong to pro athletes, celebrities, and Miami's ultra-rich, all drawn to the Mega Vault looking for privacy, security, and a place that's strong enough to withstand a Category 5 hurricane.
That's very important to us, that we're Cat 5, that we're not in a flood zone, and that we store above sea level.
In other words, while Miami gets pounded by a megastorm, this yellow Ferrari stays high and dry. Susan McGregor runs this place, and even her client list is on lockdown.
We don't reveal the names of our clients. In some cases, we'll sign non-disclosure agreements.
Whether it's a $500,000 Porsche Carrera GT or a $450,000 Mercedes SLR McLaren Roadster, to get a supercar in or out, you need a secret code and a fingerprint that sets this robo-crane in motion. For security reasons, McGregor won't disclose the dollar value of vehicles locked up in her vault. But from the parade of cars we saw, this place is one of the most super-rich parking garages in America. And the views from her office are very cool.
Every day, every couple of minutes, something new and different comes by my office. My son thinks I have the greatest job in the world.
In the world of supercars, LA real estate mogul Bruce Meyer is considered a superstar. Celebrity he's earned collecting some of the most iconic rides ever built, like this 1961 Ferrari 250 GT worth as much as $17 million.
I don't consider myself a collector, but an enthusiast.
Bruce's enthusiasm has taken on different proportions. Over the last decade, he's spent tens of thousands of dollars to miniaturize some of his favorite full-size vehicles.
There's something very emotional about looking at that model that has such detail and is so accurate.
He has a desktop version of his 1967 Ferrari 275 GTB4, and he also has a model of that number 14 Ferrari. Each of these cars are worth $10,000.
The door handles work, the bug screen is perfect, the color is dead on. They nailed it. When I look at that model, I'm looking at the car.
But Bruce isn't the only fanatic paying these skilled model makers top dollar for their intricate creations. Amalgam, the UK-based company that specializes in turning life-size toys into tiny ones, produces 25 custom orders a month. Each build requires thousands of petite, one-of-a-kind pieces that take about 300 hours to assemble. Amalgam's tour de force, this 1/5 scale replica of the Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantique. The model even has working headlights. It took 5,000 hours to make and includes 3,500 components. Only 3 will be offered for sale this year. The price, $260 grand each. Sure, Amalgam's models cost a pretty penny, but a client like Bruce appreciates just how little maintenance his pint-sized wheels will need.
There's no better way to enjoy it without actually having to service it. It just doesn't require anything but love.
This is a 2014 Aventador Lp 720 anniversary. There's only 100 of them made, and it's ridiculously fast.
Sure, it's ridiculously fast on land, but Gino Gargiulo lives in Miami, a town surrounded by water. And the problem is, his $650,000 limited edition Aventador isn't waterproof. Gino spent $1.3 million to take his Lambo obsession out to sea. For twice the price of the wheels that inspired it, Gino built a Lam boat to match his favorite car.
These type of boats that are so fast, the adrenaline rush, you have to experience it.
So to experience it, we set up the first ever Lamborghini Land Sea Challenge. Gino will race the Aventador on Miami's MacArthur Causeway. I'll race the powerboat on what's called the Government Cut. All right, this is the ultimate super rich super race. We've got Gino in the Lamborghini Aventador, but we have got the Aventador powerboat called Raging Bull. When we took off, the supercar and the superboat were neck and neck.
I don't see a seatbelt. Woo!
On the water, we hit around 80 miles an hour. On land, Gino had a big disadvantage.
Oh! Traffic! He's stuck! 2 taxi cabs and a police car! Busted! Woo!
And while I may have beat him in the race,
Eat our wake, buddy!
the truth is, the guy who owns the boat and the car is the real winner.